Are you at home, bored, frustrated, need a purpose in life due to being in your house for the past 8 months? Are you a small business owner or an Instagrammer who sells things? Or maybe you just like to entertain on the internet? If you check any of those boxes, you should start a YouTube channel, and in this video, I will show you how. So y'all should already know it is the number one thing you need in order to create your YouTube channel. A camera. You need a camera because obviously you need something to like film yourself on, right? And honestly, it does not have to cost you a lot because you actually have a free option. Do you want to know what that is? Your phone, right? So like I am definitely team iPhone over here, and you know these are super expensive devices, but they have really good camera quality. So it definitely holds up to its own to record your videos for free, you know, if you just ignore the fact that you're selling yourself to Apple. But aside from that, you know, you have a camera in your phone, so you don't need to actually spend a lot of money investing in like a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. So if your front camera works and there's no grainy footage, congratulations, you have your camera. Now, if you actually can spend a little bit of coin and you are convinced that I am going to live on YouTube, I want to dedicate time to cultivating this YouTube channel. If that is you, you might want to save up for a DSLR or a mirrorless camera. I use the Sony a6000. This is the camera that I've used for the past 5 years. And it has, you know, carried me those 5 years. Like, it's my baby. Other great cameras include the Canon EOS or Rebel line series and the other cameras in the Sony Alpha series. These cameras can definitely run you at least $500. So the important thing is to do your own research and find the right fit for you and what you expect to film for and your particular budget. You can also find older and refurbished models on like Best Buy or Amazon. So I definitely also recommend you checking that out as well. So now that you have your camera, you know what you're gonna record on, now let's talk about your setup, right? So lighting is very, very important. And I'm someone who lives in a very small New York City apartment with my parents and my brothers, so I know how to like finesse my studio space. So I actually record in my bedroom like this. Well, here is actually a backdrop. On the other side of this backdrop is my room. So yeah, I would definitely recommend getting a backdrop. I'm gonna drop the link below to where I got this one on Amazon. But back to lighting, because lighting's important. I used to use natural lighting. Like I rearranged my setup where I can be facing the window so I can just have the natural lighting, because natural lighting looks so good. So good. Unfortunately, the only downside to natural lighting is the fact that the sun moves. The sun moves, so like your lightings are going to change depending on the type of day, so you have to be aware of that. Also, if you're like me and you live in like an apartment, sometimes windows have bars on them, so that can also affect how your light looks as well. So if you don't want to go lighting and you're like, okay, I want to make sure I have consistent lighting and I have a little bit of money to spend, you can get a ring light, which is what I use, or you can get a softbox setup. Next, let's talk about audio, right? So someone on YouTube once said in a video that what makes or breaks your video is the audio, because your camera quality could be A1, you could look amazing, you could be funny as hell, but if your audio is crappy, like that just takes down your whole video. Like I speak from experience. Like I definitely had to figure out my audio through trial and error, because again, I live in New York City. It's super loud. There's a lot of noise pollution, and again, thin walls, so you hear everybody's conversation. So I had to kind of figure out how I'm going to make my audio work for me, and that was getting a mic. So when I first started out, again, I was not trying to spend money like that, so I used the voice memos app on my phone. Again, team iPhone over here, but you can use whatever like voice recording app that your phone may have. The only thing is that you would have to figure out how to sync up your audio in post-production. That's like the only downside. So if you have a software that allows you to sync audio, then sure, go with getting an external mic where you can just upload that audio, you know, onto there, because straight out of camera audio sometimes is not that great. Now, if you're looking to spend a little money and invest in your YouTube channel, I highly recommend getting an external mic like this one I have here. This is the, this is the Zoom H4n Pro mic. This was definitely one of my bigger purchases for my YouTube channel. It cost like, I think almost $300. So again, like it's a big investment into a YouTube channel, but honestly, this was hands down the best mic I've ever had. I also had the Zoom lav mic. I'll like pop a picture of it here, and that cost me like $50, and it was cool. But this mic right here is top notch. Like the quality is amazing, and I really hope that translates on this video. But the cool thing about this is like not only can you use it as a mic for your YouTube channel, but if you wanted to start a podcast, you could use this mic. If you are a musician, you probably could use this mic a little bit, you know, if you're doing something real rough. If you just wanted to capture like sound for something, you could use this mic. This mic is good for literally anything sound related that you need to record. And the quality is amazing. Like I have headphones on so I can like hear my voice. And I swear every time I put these headphones on, I swear I'm in somebody's booth in like some studio somewhere. Like I can't rap, but I wish I could, because I'll be doing that all day on this mic. Moral of the story is, if you can afford to spend some money, get a external mic. Like you don't need to spend like almost $300 for this one, but if you can shell it like $50, you can get a lav one that works just fine. You just gotta plug it into your phone. So make sure you have that headphone jack. But if you just don't, you're just like, I just don't got funds, period, then just use your voice memos app. So now that you've recorded your video, you're going to need to edit your clip somewhere, right? This requires you transferring the files from your camera's memory card to your computer and using some sort of software. And now the type of software you use depends on your budget, your skill sets, and the amount of time you have to learn how to use that software. So again, we're gonna break this down into two. The first option I will say is iMovie. Again, Apple over here. iMovie is free for Apple users, I believe. I don't exactly know how you can get it if you have like a Windows computer or something, but I'm sure with a simple Google, you can figure it out. But iMovie already comes free on your Apple devices. And it helps you get the basic editing that you need, like cutting, transitions, inputting your files. I know it does not allow you to sync audio. So if you do have an external mic or you have audio that you want to put in your video, that might not work. But iMovie is great for getting started. So I highly recommend. And I do have an iMovie tutorial coming up, a couple weeks. So stay tuned to that. Make sure you subscribe. If you do want to again invest in your channel a little bit more, you can use Final Cut Pro. I know a lot of content creators and influencers use Final Cut Pro. It's like a one-time payment of around $300 on the App Store. Again, verify that with a Google search. But it definitely gets a lot of work done editing wise to create your video more custom to your content, right? So you have cutting, transitions, and you can do mini animations in it. It just really makes your content pop, your video content pop. So I think if you're starting out, try iMovie. If you're okay, I really like this, I want to have more of a custom feel to it, get Final Cut Pro, and you should be good, right? So now that you have your video all edited together, ask yourself this question: should I add music? Some people think music just enhances your video, really depending on what type of video you're doing. If you're doing a haul or outfit of the day, having a fire track behind you really makes your video stand out. But sometimes people might think it's distracting. It really just depends on you and your preference, right? So for free, if you want some tracks that you have full license to use and don't cost you anything, you can actually use the YouTube audio library. It's a part of YouTube, and all tracks are you have license to use them for whatever, right? And it costs $0.99, so definitely hop on that. Now, if you are a bona fide content creator, I'm trying to make sure that I have the best tracks behind my content, What I use is Epidemic, is that the word? Epidemic. Does that sound right? Epidemic. It is Epidemic. Oh, that's such a weird word. Wow. Epidemic Sound. I use Epidemic Sound. It is one of the top subscription-based platforms for tracks or soundtrack sound effects for content creators. I'm currently on that free trial because I'm not trying to give them my money just yet. But it does cost like $15 a month with a personal license. It's not the only royalty-free platform out there, but it's one of the best ones. So I highly recommend it. Like, I love the tracks that they have on there. So definitely check that out if you can spend $15 a month for it. Okay, now let's get into the last step of fully creating your YouTube video, right? So you already filmed your video, you have edited it, you've added your music, and now you're ready to upload it to YouTube. Now, when you're viewing videos on YouTube, they have thumbnails and you want to make sure that your thumbnail looks amazing, right? So what you can do is you can use Canva, which is a free online design tool. Tutorial coming soon. You can use that, or you can use a free graphic design program that you download to your computer called Vectinator Pro. And with those, you can upload your picture, add some title of your video maybe, and upload it to YouTube as your thumbnail. It's really important that your thumbnail looks amazing because you want to catch people's attention and kind of speak to the quality of your content, right? Because if your thumbnail doesn't look that great, chances of people clicking your video isn't that great. It's not to say that they won't, but you definitely want to make that first impression look really good. And it does require a little bit of planning out. I found that I need to plan out my thumbnails because if I think about it after, then they look trash. I've had some trash thumbnails. I'm gonna just say that. But if you do want to spend a little bit more money and really have full control over your thumbnail, I highly recommend getting Photoshop. Now, Photoshop is amazing for content creators because you can edit your photos on there. You can create little animations you can use for your social media. You can create your thumbnails. You can create your title cards, anything. You create your channel banner on Photoshop. Photoshop is amazing. Again, it's part of Adobe's subscription-based pricing. So I think Photoshop is let me see. I think Photoshop is $21 a month. And then again, if you get the whole full suite, it's $53 a month. But definitely check that out because Photoshop is great. And even if you only just pay for that one app, it'll definitely be worth it because you can have direct control over everything. Get it, please. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.